So then New Hope said, y'all got to go.
And
Not in a bad way,
right.
but it was.
But I mean, they were saying, "Hey, you outgrowing us, obviously."
And it was really God saying,
It
you know
was.
what? I've got God is, when God has more, He doesn't want you to stay comfortable where you are. And sometimes He has to push us out. And I think that was one of those push you out kind of situations.
And they said, "Y'all got to get out." And so immediately, you connected with a realtor.
Yeah, I was still on the bench serving then. And I remember, a large part of what I did was landlord-tenant law and evictions and stuff. And so I remember talking to one of the realtors one day, and I was just saying, my church is, and sharing space with the church. And, we're really looking for some place. Do you know of some place? And he said, well, yeah, I know of this. There's a CVS building in the Lawyer Square shopping center that's completely gutted. But for you,
I saw everything. I saw the sanctuary. I saw the offices. I just saw the vision of it. It was exciting to me.
Space right next door, another
church.
opening.
Yeah, church had.
Yeah, another church was in there,
and they left.
And so we were like, well, this can be our annex, our fellowship hall.
That's right.
And so we got that space and renovated it, and we didn't have to do a whole lot, but it was an open space. Right. I remember us doing our new members fellowship. New members institute, which is now our Connect Institute. Right. We would do that in there. We would do conferences in there. We would do other trainings. And I remember, of course, at that time, we were excited about me being pregnant and everything, and nobody saw me delivering prematurely. We had scheduled a baby shower in there. That was a week after. It was scheduled a week after I delivered. Mm-hmm. And they had it anyway. I mean, at that point, but that it was such, when I think about the things that happened there in that ministry center and in the annex, there was just so much that, so many memories, so much that God did.
Yeah, we called it Lawyer Square, and it was in the Lawyer Square Plaza.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of activity and community events. One of the events we did was the Shirley Caesar event. When we first moved in there, we were always oriented to community. We used to have in our name, we've taken it out now. It's New Beginnings Church. For everybody, it's New Beginnings Church now. But we are still technically New Beginnings Community Church. That's how we started. And the first thing we did is a big community concert with Shirley Caesar. And we didn't know how that would go off. But I'll never forget that was something we wanted to do to kind of invite the whole community. It was free, just come. Yeah. And it was amazing.
And, we fortunately had one of our members was a relative of Shirley Caesar. Right. And so that's how, because we were very young as a ministry. So, people like that who were kind of on the national scene weren't coming to churches like ours, by and large.
Right.
But we had that connection. And so
Sister Dana.
Yeah. And so she was able, who's minister now, was able to work that out. And, she came, Shirley Caesar came, and it was an opportunity to be able to witness to our community, to be able to, kind of have a presence, and to be able, we kind of took over the entire parking lot at Lawyer Square. And so it was kind of one of those things that kind of made us sort of official, so to speak, and it was a good experience. And then of course we had our little dinner afterwards in the fellowship hall. And I remember Shirley Caesar just being very nice and just very down to earth, and it was just a good time.
Yeah. And so going on, as we grew there, we knew we needed to move on because the space just couldn't hold us. And then, on Sundays, we weren't the only thing happening in Lawyer Square. There were vendors in there, and so it was just chaotic getting in and out. And so we found this land that we're now on. I've told this story, it was a long story, so I'm gonna make it short. Wasn't for sale, was for sale, wasn't for sale. But come to find out, the couple they were older couple, and they felt like God wanted them to sell it to a church. And we were a church, and I told them, hey, we're a church, and we worked out the details, and eventually we were able to purchase the land with all the money we had. We raised some of it, but that was all we had. So we had land, but we had no ability to do anything with it for a while. And then God just led us to do this campaign. Remember, let us arise and build. I'll never forget that. And we did this campaign to raise money for the new building, the ministry center at that time, which was a huge undertaking because it was going to be almost 20,000 square feet of building. Everything we needed would be in there: our office, our sanctuary, children's church, fellowship, the whole nine. We had an overall 25-year plan, but this was kind of the first of that building in that plan. And so we were able to move in, and we thought, okay, we're going from a building that seats about 200, 250 to a building that seats now about 450, 500 if we pack people out in it. Yeah, we can start with one service. And the opening, it's like people were waiting. The grand opening, we had to turn people away. And so we went to a second service, and it still had to turn people away. We went, and we
didn't like really turn people away, but it was.
we couldn't get people in. Yeah, that's the thing. We couldn't get people in. People couldn't get in. Yeah. So so it was just growing really fast, and it was faster than we anticipated.
Yeah. They were kind of like, we were all on top of each other.
Remember, prior to that, though, we had gotten in a stretch when we were at Lawyer Square, because initially at Lawyer Square, we went in and we had moderate growth, but it was like, God, we know you have more. And it was just, is this good thing ever going to take off? So I don't want to leave that out, because that was a very important piece of it, digressing. And I remember you went to Alvin's. I tell this all the time. You went to this First Ladies Conference with Alvin Slaughter was there, and he gave you a word that we had plowed and we were getting ready to reap.
Yeah.
And after that, everything just took off. And you remember